Hey guys, it's Angel. Welcome back to the channel. And yes, this is the King Air C90 that comes with the upper versions of the sim. And a plane that I had wanted to fly for a long time on my channel, but never did for some reason. Despite me loving the C90, being excited it was coming to 24, I never actually flew it before today. Now, I've been through my checklists, I remembered those, know them what I'm meant to be doing here, so I should be relatively competent, as we are prepped for takeoff there. Not going to bother checking things work, because arguably things do work, and I think in some cases they don't wiggle, but there we go, this wiggles. Problem solved. Now, as you can tell, and from looking inside there, we are in the air ambulance today, which is going to be important for us, so those are set. Cut off, high RPM, and idle. Okay. Let's go to our batteries here. Now, technically, before I do that, I should hold this down, check it stays green for 20 seconds, but we know it's going to stay green, so I'm just going to put it up here and on. There we go. Boost pumps to auto, transfer pumps to automatic, boost pumps to on, engine anti-ice to on. Should be good for that. Pitot heat to on. Right starter to engage. Now as this comes up, we should be able to get a result here and get ourselves moving once we hit about 72 on the pressure. It'll be good to give it fuel and get it started. And that's starting to come around. Fantastic. And once this one comes up to power, which it's doing now, which is responding, we can start left. So we'll wait for left to do the same thing. It's coming up. That's good to go. So I can turn off the starter on the right. Looking good. As I mentioned, we're in the Democratic Republic of Congo today. And engine's lit there. It's got to wait for it to spool up to speed. Fantastic. Avionics to on. Flaps to takeoff setting there for that. Now, as I said, we're doing a Medivac mission today, and that Medivac mission is going to involve us flying from a staged location where we are today, which is, for you, the village of Lasambo. Now, whilst this thing spins up and gets us ready to rock and roll,
system test. Okay.
We're flying out of here, which is 3,500 feet of asphalt, or concrete in this case, to 2,400 feet of dirt at Monber, where we are going to pick up our patient Bob. Bob has been trampled by an elephant and needs to be evacuated to safety. Bob was a tourist. Bob was an idiot. Don't be Bob. Okay, let's get the engine auto ignition set as they need to be. Auto feather is set. We are good to do one. Okay. Fantastic. Parking brake disengaged. Let's get ourselves moving, shall we? And we'll be heading on to Cananga, which is a large town which has a hospital and a 7,000-foot runway. So we're making a stop, picking up Bob, and then we're out of there to take Bob to hospital. And this is an odd little spot here because you see our little taxiway and parking area, and that leads right to our runway, which is right here. Let's taxi through all of this. Okay. Everything's in the green. Power's on. And release. Now, quite decently tight little runways in some of these places, and this is a bit of a tall trees at the end here. Classic flight sim 100-foot trees are going to make our lives interesting. Tape's alive. Speed is looking good, coming up, 70 knots. 80. Gonna rotate. Let her build speed still. Gears coming up. Nice and easy retraction gear there. Flaps are coming up. Oh, no, no, no. So you're starting to need pitch down. Let's give it some trim. Because that's starting to get way off there. And we turn south from here. Yeah, perfect. Turn, coming in. Pull this power back slightly here where we want it, and the props into the RPM window we want. Shouldn't be a long trip today, but it should give us enough work to do. And that 2,400 foot is going to be a short runway for us. We should have more room at the end, though, to take off as we go. Landing will be no problem. Taking off will be harder. Okay, fantastic. Now, the way this looks is like it's forgotten my flight plan. So let's go check this in our system here. Flight planner. No, we have it in the system. So I'm going to go back to my flight planner here and send this to ATC and Avionics, which it has not done. But we can fly this manual as we need to. Okay, we are configured for cruise here, where we need to be. Looking good. Like I said, I haven't really flown the C90 before in the sim. And it's one of those aircraft that was always on my list to fly more. Especially as we have... It is a Cananga original base, but the avionics in this, of course, is done by Working Title, which makes me very happy. Okay. Looking good. So what is the C90, I hear you say? Well, the C90 is probably the most popular versions of the King Air model. And I believe a whole 184 of the C90 models, or B90s, were made before the C90 came in 1971. But let's talk about the King Air in general. Utility aircraft produced by Beechcraft, one of the most popular and enduring lines they've had of twin turboprops. Now, the Model 90 and the Series 100 developed in the 60s as the King Airs, and later, of course, you had the Model 99, of course, that turned into that. And the later T-tail 200s and 300s were marketed as Super King Airs. They dropped that in 1996, just to keep the same branding. There's over 3,300 total King Air marks have been made and sold, but the C90, being one of the most enduring, gets used by skydivers a lot, has done a lot as things have gone on. Now, the Model 90 series, of course, was originally the Model 120 in 1961, and went on to have a pair of Turbomeca Baston 6 engines put on it originally. Most models now have PT6s, and they've gone on to, of course, that's PT6A20s in many cases. Let's make sure we're flying the right way. We are. Pass out the lake ahead of us. Now, the US Army, of course, has them, which was the U-21s. The Japanese Self-Defense Air Force have got them. So they're a very popular aircraft. The C-91 came in 1982, which after 500 C-90s and 347 E-90s. So lots and lots and lots of models there. And there's even technically an Air Force One. Yeah. During Lyndon Johnson's term, the US Air Force acquired a commercial off-the-shelf B-90 with the military designation of a VC-6A, which is their VIP transport ones, serialed as 667943, and it was used to transport Lyndon Johnson between Bergstrom Air Force Base near Austin and the Johnson Family Ranch near Johnson City, Texas. So yes, when he was aboard it, it was called Air Force One. Absolutely did, yeah. It went on to just be a regular VIP transport aircraft, but it has been an Air Force One call sign on a C-90. There you go. Fun facts, of course, there. Now we talk about the C-90, and that, of course, is the... Between 92 and 2005 they were built, 456 total. Max takeoff weight is 10,100 pounds. Has the Hartzell 4-blade constant speed props, fully reversible. And they've been pretty sturdy aircraft as it goes. And now C-90 itself, in terms of speed and power, she'll give you about 226 knots of true airspeed, about 270 full. And she's got a range of about 1,300 nautical miles, which is pretty beefy. 30,000 foot ceiling. A fantastic aeroplane. Now, can I see our lake? It could be directly ahead of us if that's the one I'm thinking it is. Check my maps here. You know what? I think the one I was looking for has gone walkies. Yeah, that's taken us right to destination. That is not the correct route at all. Let me go plug this into the system. Because something has gone awry in a not so good way. Because my entire flight plan has reverted. Which means we're bypassing our victim right now. departure airport there to destination airport is going to be FZWL Gamba. Where are you? There you are. Okay. Return to port. Always check your instruments. Always check your avionics and check where your little route's going to, because if you haven't got it programmed right, it goes sideways. I had it programmed right, but it decided to be a special case. So what I thought was my destination, because I knew there was a lake in front of my airport. Shouldn't take us too long to get down here, but it was apparently playing silly effers with us, so we need to make sure that doesn't happen. Can I normally program this on here? Nope. No, I needed that to be on there. What are you? See, I don't know how to use the Collins system. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's got a flipping... Yeah, I see. It wants me to program all that stuff in there. I don't... FMCs. FMCs are complicated. They're for people who like airliners. I like my life a lot simpler. Okay, I see the valley over there. Good. That's what we should be heading for. Too much time talking about C90s, not enough time realising I was going the wrong way. We'll get ourselves set up here and we'll find our course. And we'll set something to give us a bit of a help. That should help us. Okay. Right. What is my current altitude? Is about 7,000 feet. Don't need all of this. Way too much, in fact. 4.5 sounds about right, so we'll go to altitude. We'll go to... where is it? Autopilot. And we'll go to heading. Which is exactly what we need. We'll get this to go down on our altitude now. Where's my vertical speed hold? There it is. So altitude off, vertical speed on. That should do us just nicely. I wish this made some sort of sense when I was actually scrolling through this. And it didn't just go Yahoo, off we go. Okay, we're resolving our issues, finally. Like grown-ups. Avengel flies a brand new aircraft for the first time, and of course things are going to go a little pear-shaped. Now, why don't I tell you something about this beautiful country we're in today? Sure, I go. Camera looking at the airplane properly, my head tracking being special. It's a bit whiny, isn't it? We'll go back into cockpit where it's just an irritating drone. So we're in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Not the Republic of the Congo, which is a separate country. So the DRC, which is also the largest by population francophonic country in the world. 115 million person population, and the most populous nominally French speaking country. Obviously, France is the official most and most widely spoken language in this place. Sorry, I should say, not France itself in terms of population. But either way, yes, it borders Angola, the Central African Republic, South Sudan, and it has Rwanda, Uganda, Burundi, and Tanzania across Lake Tanganyika to its right-hand side. So it's really slap bang in the middle of Africa. And of course, it's definitely seen its share of issues when it comes to global politics, of course. And it is constitutionally a semi-presidential republic, in case you were curious. Fun, fun, fun. But yeah, the area where it actually is located in was first populated 90,000 years ago, which is quite fantastic. In fact, discoveries of things like the Semelic harpoon from Katanga, which is one of the oldest barbed harpoons ever found, used to catch fish in a river, has been dated to 90,000 years old. That is insanity when it comes to thinking about the history of humanity and where we've been. 90,000 years ago. Some of the earliest human civilizations and uses of tools. Yeah. But quite exciting, really. Of course, a lot of Africa's tribal history is come from countries like this in Central Africa, that sub-Saharan region, where you've got so much of the honeypot of human civilization. You have vegetation, you have wildly diverse animal species, plenty of farming land. It's one of the cradles. But yes, of course, there is the stain of European colonialism across this and many other African countries. One thing to always consider. I know people don't like thinking about that kind of thing, but unfortunately it's a major component of what we've done to these places, and why some of them are in the state they are today, is because of us. The fact it's the largest by population French-speaking country in the world should tell you that. Yeah. Alright, so looking at our mappy poo, we're not too far away right now. Although we're going to want to come a bit to the port side. Just make sure we hit this lake. In fact, I think I see the lake right there. Although that could be that one. In fact, I'm pretty sure there's a guarantee that's that one. So it's probably this one over here. There we go. Let's assist ourselves over. But it is a beautiful part of the world. Let's get rid of this silly thing from the way. Fantastic for flight sim if you've not been to Africa. I've done 1 or 2 flights here before, and there's a ton of things to see, from beautiful plains to jungles to fantastic things to explore, mountains, valleys, so much landscape. And with 2024 being such a diverse game in terms of how it looks, I've got no reason not to bush fly in more parts of the world. Because I know, I don't know about you, I grew up doing my bush flying in Orbex scenery areas in FSX because they looked good. They looked a lot better than the crappy old flight sim areas we used to have. And, well, now the whole world looks better than they could even dream of. Yep, my flight sim started out in the Pacific Fjords and the Central Rockies scenery add-ons. Then the Northern Rockies. Yeah. Eventually Orbex Southern Alaska. A lot of it was so much fun, but like I stuck to those areas because it was where you had good scenery in the sim. It was kind of rare. Whereas now we have such beautifully amazing parts of the world that there's no reason not to go explore them. So Mongolia, China, Africa, South America. There are so many places that are so cool to see. And there's such diversity in what we actually see in terms of airports and runways. Here's our destination we're going to here. If you can see this. So we've got a village here that it's being, this runway and airport supplies. You've got the farmland around here, supplied attached to it. All these areas. Population centres along these main roads. So obviously there's fishing and farming in terms of infrastructure. And this airport supplies these villages and has a connection to the outer world for some of these villages. So, same sort of bush flying, of course, that we'd see in other parts and other places, but with a much different landscape to do it in. And of course, we're definitely going to keep an eye out for any fauna when we're coming to land here, because, yeah, it's not my first time when I've had, animals on a runway. So we'll have to keep our eyes out for that. We're passing through 3,000 feet. We've gone past where we're meant to be setting here. Because that didn't go to arm. Did I not set my altitude mode to arm? I didn't think I did. No. We're descending below our set 4,000 feet. Probably a good thing if we kept descending, we'd go straight into the ground. That would be quite bad. Okay, so we're heading across the lake there, so we need to just direct ourselves a little bit more port. That should be good for us now. There we go. A bit too low. And yes, Otto is very useful when I'm sitting here blathering about cool facts and history. Oh, that's not a lake, that's a copse of trees I thought I saw. Which totally looked like a lake. Meaning that body over there is definitely our lake we're looking for. It's the only wet thing nearby. Perfect. Means we're not too far away. And the airport should be on the southern side of that. So we'll knock Otto off now. We actually know what we're doing. Okay, there we go. A little bit of power. What's the point of me flying the plane if we're not getting some hand flying in here? But this should take us to Monber. And yeah, 2,400 feet of dirt. Meaning it's a bit more of a challenge to get off this runway than it was to land. And those DC loads are going absolutely insane. Huh. That'd be very weird. Yeah, there's the lake. So our airport should be not very far shore. I think a big thing as well is the lighting. It really changes how Africa looks in many of these cases. Okay. Looking good here. We're cruising along around 108.70 right now. It's a little on the slow side, so we'll definitely pull the legs up once we get going. Yeah, my gears up, my flaps are all up. Everything's up as it should be, but we've definitely been cruising slow. Okay, looking good there. We'll program for Cananga once we get on the ground, get that sorted. And then we can get out of here, no problemo. We'll do a quick fly past to the runway, we'll check it out and see how it is. Make sure there's no debris, creatures, other problems on there. We'll come around, we'll land, we'll pick up Bob. Our terrible patient Bob, who did us stupid. And we will get out of here. Okay, pull that back for a second. Should be right there, if I am correct, about here. I'm assuming this is the right wet bit. It is the right wet bit. Fantastic. I was right. I love being right. Pull the power out now. The 2,400 feet is definitely something that makes me a bit nervous. I'm going to just quickly Google this because I'm very, very nervous now. So one time Google AI is actually a good thing. 2,200 feet. We're actually going to be fine. Yeah, 2,200 feet. Should be absolutely perfect. There's the field between the trees. Okay. So the speed bleed off a little bit more. Props to full fine. Everything else is looking configured. Gear is still up. That's okay. There's the runway. And it is dirt, and it's going to be interesting approach. So we're coming from the far side. Winds look to be calm. And I don't see a windsock down there, so we'll check it out if we can see one. One notch flaps. Yes, I'm aware, thank you. There are some animals down there, to the left, right here. There's traffic on the road. Nothing on the runway though so far. It's looking clear. I love having to look for animals, that's fantastic. Adds so much to the roleplay of bush flying. Gear coming down. We'll do a keyhole turn around here, make our approach, make this nice and quick. Okay, beginning our turn. Second notch in. Nose down. Let that maintain our speed. Looking good there. Keep it about 105 for now. Alright, that based up final corner now. This is very responsive in terms of an aircraft to fly. It doesn't feel normal. Like, it doesn't feel boring and rigid. It feels unique, but it feels very responsive and it's doing what I ask of it. Okay. Little steep. Slight bit fast right now. But we're okay, I think. Yeah, we'll balloon this speed out now once we make our approach. So we'll just pick ourselves up here, a little bit of rudder. There we go. Props are in reverse. Back to idle before we stop and tip over. Okay, let's get ourselves turned around, go back and pick up Bob, shall we? We'll take off that way, I think, because it's going to give us the lowest trees to get over. Okay, one engine only, please. Speaking of which, they're going to be loading behind this engine with a stretcher, so we're going to shut down left. Now, to make their lives easier. Okay, boys and girls. Right, parking brake is on. Okay, let's go get Bob, shall we? Oh, look, Bob's appeared. Oh, that looks more like Carol. Hey. You got Bob here? Or Bobina? I look more like Bobina, to be honest. That engine should have been shut off. I thought I shut that engine off. Oh, I did. It's just idling down. Yeah, it's not putting out as much blast. Fantastic. Okay, load Bobina up. There we go. Boom. And... there we go. Hello, are you Bobina? You're Bobina. Okay, fantastic. So Bobina got hit by an elephant. Or run over by an elephant. We've got our medics on board. Fantastic. And we have our patient. Everyone aboard, everyone's safe and secured. Fantastic, you are. Wonderful. Absolutely love it. Let's get ourselves rolling. Ignition's on. That is good. Okay, so fuel cut off to full. That should give us our engine light again. I think it's going. We'll find out in a second. Those two are both idled. That one's coming up. Fantastic. Yes, I believe it is. And whilst we do this, we'll make sure our information is programmed. We need Cananga, so make sure that's in there very quickly. And that would be F Zulu Uniform Alpha Cananga. There we go. That's exactly what we wanted. That is perfect. Yep. We'll just go direct to change procedure. Yes, please. And we'll send it to our ATC Navionics. That's exactly what we need. Let's make sure this is good here. Well, we could just aim for that. That should be no problem whatsoever. Fantastic. Right, everything is ready with the aircraft. Parking brake is released. Bobina has been strapped down. Let's get ourselves moving. You know what, we'll go out to that direction behind us. It's going to be just fine. Got more runway to so anyway. Okay, so flaps to 1 notch for takeoff. Back taxi here, get ourselves positioned, get ready to rock and roll. Both engines firing on all cylinders. It's not a challenging airfield, but it certainly makes life a little bit more interesting when you're not used to flying into some of these places. Gorgeous scenery too. And before we take off, I want to see what those animals are. Yeah, we'll clear those trees, no problemo. Right, excuse me, we're going to go quickly see what those animals are, because I actually care more about the animals than Bobina right now. So we're going to go find out what those are. They look like wildebeest, I think. Or cows. Very American trucks here in Africa, of course. What have we got here? Ah, they're oxen. Or something. And we have, yeah, African cattle. And are they oxen? Or wildebeest? I'm not sure. I think wildebeest. Fantastic. Right. Back aboard. Let's get ready to rock and roll. This is going to be spicy takeoff. So we did seem to struggle a bit at with the heat of this. That's another factor as well, the temperature. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. I may have to reject this if it doesn't go properly. And I get a bad feeling about it. 40. 50. 70. Yes, I know I'm stalling. I don't care. The feeling isn't bad. The feeling isn't bad. I just need you to hold on for a little bit longer. Baby, that's it. Come on. Not changing configuration until we stabilize. Have some more airspeed. I know you don't like it. I'm sorry, baby. I needed to pitch up there before we got a little bit too close to massive trees. Gear in transition. Nose down. Flaps retracting. Okay, perfect. Bring our nose up. And we are currently aiming for due west towards Cananga. We should be there in no time at all. Although with the faffing around we've had today, I think we might need to cut a little bit of this short. With a little bit of navigational errorage happening there from following the wrong route. Because I did have it mapped in the sim. The actual flight for the flight plan was set to go Lasambo, Moncamba, Cananga, and it didn't do it. It changed it when I restarted the flight. So I will have to save us some time here. So once we get ourselves up here and on course, and make sure we get our heading set in there for our current positioning. And we'll just put altitude hold on. So we'll hold whatever we've got at the moment, which is always fantastic. Make sure our power is set properly here. That'll do. We'll see you once we're on approach to Cananga. So we're a little bit closer to Cananga now on our way back into town. Yeah, no, unfortunately just a little bit of a flight sim error there. Ended up taking a bit of a longer route south than we were expecting to. In fact, if I'm quite positive, that is our destination right below us. Oh, look at that. I was absolutely correct. What a brilliant piece of navigation. Using a computer, of course. Right. Let's knock off that. Make sure we are equipped, ready to rock and roll. We'll do a quick run over Cananga. We'll come back in from the opposite direction there. So again, winds like 1-2 knots here. We are running live weather. Yes, it is that calm. 7,500 feet down there of asphalt runway. Should make our life quite simple. But Cananga has a hospital, capable of treating Bobina for all her elephant stamping or trampling needs. We should have us out here in no time whatsoever. There'll be a ground ambulance waiting there for them. Just fly into the city here quickly and we'll turn around and come back across. Make our approach. We'll land this way because that way we can roll out to the apron and the waiting ambulance. Where are we at? So this is part of the simming experience that I truly love, is getting to see all these parts of the world, exciting, cool stuff that we haven't seen before, and I love to see it. I really do. And what's cool is there's some interesting patterns in terms of how things are laid out in the city here. I'm not sure if we'll get close enough, but we should be able to see it. Aha, there we are. So this is the main rail line here that comes into the town, and the rail yard here, with a loop run around there. So trains come in round, turn around, and go back out again along the same line. So there's a big U shape. We've got that kind of round residential area off to that side. But there you can see the train line that curves around there. Cargo depot there, and this is the city centre. Lots of traffic islands. They love traffic islands here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Loads. Look at all this. There's the hospital down there. Right. Enough faffing around and sightseeing. And that's the barracks and the military base over there. Enough faffing around. Let's bring ourselves in ready for an approach and landing. Yes, 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 yes. Where's your silence? I don't care button. I know there's a button for this. Oh, I don't care. Fine, I'll just advance the throttle slightly to shut you up. Or I could just put the gear down, that also works. Yeah, round, here we go. It's definitely cool seeing some of these parts of the world and how they look. Because I've never been to them and I probably never will in real life. So I really get to enjoy seeing something different. Okay. Nose down. Yep, see the freight yard of the railway there? Uh-oh. Oh, the left fuel transfer. There's the runway. Cool. Throttles to idle, props are to full fine. Condition is to full. Flaps are full. We are good. Should be rolling out onto final now. A little bit of power here because we are definitely slowing down too much. Nice, long, established final here. Now I could land super short, I could put it into reverse, but we don't need to. We also want to be a little bit smoother as we have a patient on board. Bobina's already been trampled by an elephant, we don't need to make it worse. Alright, idle out now. A little bit quick, but again, 7,500 feet, plenty of room to this to burn away. When this is not pointed directly at the ground like a space shuttle, it's actually quite draggy. So watch this. As soon as we start to pick our nose up here, as soon as we pick that nose up, the speed bleeds off really rapidly. So we need to put a little bit of power on here actually to stop ourselves from getting too low. And yeah, see, the windsock's basically empty. Right, idling out here. Nice, gentle touchdown. Floated half the runway because I actually want to expedite my travel to the end of it. And it's easier to fly than to taxi it. So smooth. Wow, the airliner nerds with all their ACARS data tracking their touchdown rates would absolutely love that one. Little bit of the brakes, no need to apply anything else. Ease off there. No reverse thrust at all. Straight off on the taxiway, straight to ground. We'll be coming as a Medivac, so they'll be letting us straight through here. Ground personnel waiting. Another C90 on the line. Now we're over here. Yes, yes, I know. I've got my fuel off. I did that on purpose. There we are. Fantastic. Prop should spool down here. Okay. And that should be our stop. So parking brake is out. I wonder, can I actually... Well, that one's shut up. That one hasn't shut up yet. Let's give it a try. No, it's just slow and spooling down. Either way, let's get Bobina offloaded. And... there we go, spooling down. There we go. And on the ground here in Cananga. After my smoothest landing to date ever, I am capable of doing it. See, I told you so. I'm not awful, I promise. Just usually. Are you going to stop spinning? Really? You're very annoying. That one quit ages ago. Why can't you be like your brother? I'm genuinely confused as to why that one's still going. Because I would have shut down a while ago and they're both absolutely configured the same. If I put the... Will you stop? No, you don't want to stop. You're weird. So weird. Absolutely weird. Anyway. thank you for watching me flying more African adventures. If you want to pick somewhere I take bush flying, give me a mission, or I can make one up. You let me know. Thanks for watching. Bye.